Constance, it's an honor and privilege to be speaking with you. Thank you so much for your time.
Wow. Thanks, Peter. I love that.
No problem. I do find it interesting, and I feel like it depends on the project, but anytime there's kind of original source material, I'm just curious what the relationship is with it. Like for this one specifically, did you kind of go back and look at the books a lot, or did you kind of want to go in more fresh? I'm just curious about that specifically.
Well, I read the first book because there's three in the series, and I read the first book and then didn't want to read the other ones because I didn't want to know what happened. I actually was excited about keeping it a mystery for myself because my character is not in the books. She is a character that we've kind of amalgamated a little bit from Myron, but not really. I'm kind of my own new character. So there isn't really anything to get from the books about that. For me, it was being able to work with Harlan and Alan and get to kind of create this character and what her journey is and how I can get the same information out of Mickey that is revealed in the books, but now through a different source.
Totally. That's so well said. And kind of jump on that a little bit, I do find it really interesting because the content in regards to the thriller, the mystery, the crime, all that, the whodunit, that's always been around. Like that content's always been kind of around. But I really do think, Constance, there's been kind of this big boom and surge in popularity and interest for that content. So with that being said, what's it like kind of working in that kind of world, knowing that there's a really big appetite for it these days?
Well, I think it's why I all of a sudden got interested in it because it hasn't really been a world that I have ventured in very much. I did a little indie film that was a kind of a horror thriller. It's normally not my thing. I definitely go for characters over anything. And for me, what's wonderful about this being a thriller is that the characters are so rich and so developed and they are so fleshed out within everything else that you're trying to figure out about the show, right? So it isn't just one type of show. It isn't just a suspense thriller. It is also, like a fun coming of age story about all of these kids kind of finding themselves and adults finding themselves and realizing that we're all trying to find ourselves, whatever our age is, whatever. And now you're throwing in like mystery and intrigue and disappearances and people dying. And you're like, hold on, I'm just trying to figure out who I am. So I think it's fun. The pace is very fast, which I love. And I also like that there's a bit of kind of a light comedy air in the show, because that to me feels very Harlan Coben, obviously the writer of the novels. He has this dry sense of humor. And I love that is also kind of showing up on the show too.
I do find it interesting because you're talking about like the horror thriller elements. I mean, there were some moments where your character in Unreal was the scariest person.
That's what I mean. Horror has so many different definitions these days.
You could probably write a book. Like you could probably write you could do a debate whether Unreal was like a horror like series or something, because there was some very
there's some pretty dark stuff. There's some dark stuff that we did to people, poor innocent people.
It was messed up. Getting back to this specifically, because people are going to be able to see this in Prime Video in August. It's Harlan Coben Shelter. When they get a chance to watch it, obviously that you want them to dive in, get entertained. What else are you hoping they'll get out of it, takeaway wise?
Look, I think entertainment right now is you just want to be excited to watch it and want to keep watching it. And I think what I hope that people get out of it is that this show is not just one genre. For me, that's what has
genre bending, 100%.
Exactly. And the idea that everybody of every age, I think, and gender and culture and whatever your background is, I know that you're going to find somebody and something that you relate to on a level that will be surprising. And I think that for me is when you can intertwine that into also an entertainment show. That's great. But I mean, getting out of it, you're going to get out of it whatever you want, right? You just want people to come back and want to watch it and be like, oh my God, what's going to happen to that person? And how are they going to deal with this? And so it's constantly evolving. Every episode, you're going to have a different set of characters and mysteries to solve and discover. And at the same time, these people are trying to figure out who they are at the same time. So there's a lot.
And I can't wait for people to see it on Prime Video in August. Again, it was an honor and privilege to speak with you. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.